People and organizations are trying to do the same thing over and over again and wondering why they're not growing. Some are even saying that AI might replace us at work. Well, what if I told you that I believe that the best way to beat this machine is to let it win? Many people believe that continuous growth comes from being successful. But the truth is, growth comes from failure. In 2008, I had my first epic failure. My business gone to nothing. I started to realize that failure was a gift. Instead of adapting to what's happening now, they chose brute force. Brute force is the byproduct of something that I call the stagnation spiral. We are so conditioned, so scared of failing that we don't try something new.
Frankie is a best-selling author and renowned entrepreneur. He's best known for 2 of his companies landing on the Inc. 500 list 8 times in a row. And he is one of the most inspiring founders you will ever meet.
The thing that creates growth is inflection points. Something that allows for growth to not only get kick-started, but to be truly continuous. And the way to create inflection points is something that I call the infinity growth loop. The growth loop is made up of 3 parts: getting honest about the problem, imagining a new solution, and then collaborating outside of the boundaries, outside of the silos. And every single person in this room can start this loop today. Because it turns out that you don't have to wait or get lucky to create the inflection points that make growth happen. But to make something truly continuous, there's a key that I've found over the course of working with my companies, my people, and the other organizations that I've worked with. These loops, these ideas, these frameworks, they usually aren't continuous after they get installed. And there's a reason for that. Because the power it takes to fuel these loops is tremendous. The power source for the loop is already in this room. Because what powers this loop is the pure genius of every single person in this room. Who in here identifies as a genius? This creates a problem because only one person said they identified. But what if I told you that every single person in this room is imaginative at a genius level? There's science to prove it. That inside each one of us is a key that can unlock a level of continuous innovation needed to augment for this new future. And that key is to love your weird. After doing a decade worth of work around why, I realized there was a missing component. Is that the why doesn't unlock my genius by itself. It got to be with the weird. I want you to do something for me. I want you to think about when you were 5 or 6 years old. What was that kid into? How many of you can remember a time when you were unapologetically weird? At 5 years old, I wanted to be a cowboy, an astronaut, a scientist, inventor, and a TV preacher. Right? We have to re-find our passion by going back to what we loved when we were a weird kid. At 5 years old, each one of us has in us already all the limitless power that flows through this universe. For those of us who don't think of ourselves as imaginative, that kid is still in there. Because loving your weird allows for you, and in turn, other people have permission to change the conditions. We all were something different, right? But you'd be amazed how much the passion and the genius and flow that gets unlocked as an adult when we align with that kid and what we're doing at work. Your genius is your weird. That thing that you've been hiding, that thing that seems insignificant, the thing that has been conditioned out of you. Some of us are scared to show up this way, and I can understand why. Because we're afraid to fail. I'm afraid that if I show up as my whole self, I'll be rejected. But whether you were into this or that, or dancing or mermaids or astronauts, there's one thing we all had in common, and that is that we believed that whatever we were playing, whatever we were into, it was possible. We believed it with our whole heart that it was possible. Now, we were mostly dead wrong, but we believed. And now we're stepping into a world where machines and tech are changing everything. Just recently, this came out, where one line of text can create a cinematic movie. One line of text. I'm showing you this because 2 years ago, this was impossible. Put in a sentence and create this movie. It was impossible, but here it is.
There's nothing better, more powerful in this world for us to show up in this new era, this new world of work, than believing again that anything's possible.
Because we have no clue. Anybody that tells you where we're headed, they don't know. And we are at the AOL instant message dial-up moment of AI. We have not seen anything. This is the power of bringing both weird and why together, because at the intersection of your weird and your why, you create a power source that can fuel this loop and make it continuous. And it also is what brings out that pure genius. Your weird is your superpower in the new world of work.